Hello. I first heard about this community challenge physical media thing from Ken at MidLevelMedia, and then I watched the original Platex 2 video and his challenge, and I've watched several other videos of this at this point, and they're all so great. I love seeing what people have in their collection, and as a lover of film history, it's so fun to see how far can we go back without missing a year. And so I like the way that Ken did it, where he went backwards in time, so you're not going to know how far I get back. So hopefully you'll have fun seeing it as it progresses further into the past. And also, because I know I have a lot of movies, I wanted to try to do this twice at the same time without using any of the same films for a certain year. And in that second selection, I tried to, once I got back far enough, avoid DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K as much as possible. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing those. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Starting in 2023, we've got Dungeons and Dragons and Megan. 2022, All Quiet on the Western Front, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2021, In the Heights, No Time to Die. 2020, we have Soul and the Invisible Man. 2019, we've got Avengers Endgame and 1917. 2018, we have Annihilation and Black Panther. 2017, we have Kong Skull Island and Get Out. 2016, we have Jason Bourne and The Witch. This is the fifth one. Worst one in my opinion, but still enjoyable. 2015, we have Avengers Age of Ultron, and then this is the cool Mad Max Fury Road with the black and white version included. 2014, we have Interstellar and Into the Storm. I own this because I also have this on video CD, which I suppose I could have pulled out to show you, but I didn't. 2013, we have White House Down and The Conjuring. 2012, we have Django Unchained and Sinister. 2011, we have Hugo and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. 2010, we have the True Grit remake and Insidious. 2009, we have Sherlock Holmes and Inglourious Basterds. If I get any of these wrong, if I missed a year, definitely let me know so I can fix that. 2008, we have Tropic Thunder and Iron Man. 2007, we have Disturbia, and this is the Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, but all 5 are in here. 2006, I think I used the Pirates of the Caribbean for 2006 as well. Yeah. 2006 for the other stack is Devil Wears Prada. And then 2005 is Revenge of the Sith and Batman Begins. 2004, The Incredibles and National Treasure. These are some of the earliest physical media releases or movies that I own, because I've had these probably since 2004, 2005. 2003, we have Matchstick Men and Holes. 2002, we have The Bourne Identity, the first one, and Minority Report. This one actually, Bourne Identity, this is a Blu-ray and DVD on one disc. One side is Blu-ray, one side is DVD. It's the only thing like that I have, so that's pretty cool. Then 2001, we have Gosford Park and Mulholland Drive. 2000, we have The Emperor's New Groove and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 1999, we have The Mummy and Analyze This. And 1998, we have The Truman Show and Pleasantville. Both really great, really interesting TV show movies that I did not actually plan until I'm looking at them right now, and I'm like, oh hey, look at that. Continuing on, we're at the point where I'm starting to avoid DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for the second stack, so hope you enjoy. So, 1997, we have Titanic, and on Laserdisc, LA Confidential. 1996, we have Scream and Fargo. 1995, we have Heat and Seven. For 1994, we have Speed and Hoop Dreams. 1993, we have the Jurassic Park 5-pack and then the Addams Family. For 1992, we have Aladdin and Unforgiven. For 1991, we have Silence of the Lambs and Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I chose Gremlins 2 for some reason for 1990. And the other one I chose is The Godfather Part 3 on Video 8. It's the only movie I have on Video 8. These were usually more for home video, but they did release a few, or home movies, I should say. They did release a few full feature films on Video 8. So there it is. 1989, we have Kiki's Delivery Service and When Harry Met Sally. 1988, we have Midnight Run and Die Hard. 1987, we have Raising Arizona and Moonstruck. Look at that, both Nicolas Cage. And then 1986, we have Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Hoosiers. 1985 had to go with Back to the Future. And then for the Laserdisc, I have Witness. 1984, we have Terminator and Ghostbusters. 1983, we have Videodrome and Return of the Jedi. I love when they have the nice gatefold. Look at that. Oh my goodness. 1982, we have The Thing and The Verdict. 1981, we have Halloween 2, as well as Excalibur. 1980, we have The Shining, as well as American Gigolo. 1979, All That Jazz, as well as The Black Stallion. In 1978, we have Dawn of the Dead and Jaws 2. For 1977, we have Slapshot and A New Hope. This is the DVD that contains the original theatrical version that was ripped from the 1993 Laserdisc. There you go. 1976, we have The Omen and All the President's Men. 1975, Jaws, of course. And then I did not have a Laserdisc from 1975, so I went with Terror of Mechagodzilla on VHS. 1974, we have Black Christmas and Chinatown. I can show you the gatefold as well. 1973, we had The Exorcist and Magnum Force, the second Dirty Harry movie. 1972, Alfred Hitchcock's Frenzy and The Godfather. 1971, this is a Stanley Kubrick 3-pack, but we're doing Clockwork Orange, and then the first Dirty Harry. 1970, ooh, can I say that right? Is it just Les Cercle Rouge? The Red Circle. Red Circle. And then 5 Easy Pieces. This is a Criterion Laserdisc, so 2 Criterion releases for 1970. 1969, we have The Cremator and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. I love the Hammer Frankenstein films. 1968, Targets, an incredible end-of-career film for Boris Karloff and Peter Bogdanovich's first, and The Devil Rides Out, which is another great Hammer film starring Christopher Lee. 1967, we have Wait Until Dark and The Mummy's Shroud. You can see what a lot of the 60s are going to be for the Laserdiscs. 1966, we have Django, and this is Return of the Seven for Return of the Magnificent Seven, but it has both in here, so I can show you the gatefold as well. There's a lot of information you can put on here, which is amazing. For 1965, I did not have a Laserdisc again, so here is the Ipcrest file and a DVD of Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster, because it is a silly one. 1964, we have Onibaba and Robinson Crusoe on Mars. Again, here's 2 Criterion releases from different eras. 1963, we had Charade and Cleopatra. Needed 3 discs for the one film. 1962, we had A Carnival of Souls and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. 1961, we had 101 Dalmatians and The Curse of the Werewolf. 1960, we have Spartacus and Brides of Dracula. 1959, we have Ben-Hur and The Mummy. 1958, we have Touch of Evil and Fiend Without a Face. For 1957, we have 12 Angry Men, and I did not have a Laserdisc from this year, so I went with I Was a Teenage Werewolf, which has never been released on any format except for VHS. Then for 1956, we have The Ten Commandments and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original, which is a really, really good film. If you've only seen the Donald Sutherland one, you should check this out. 1955, we have Night of the Hunter, and we also have Revenge of the Creature, and it also contains The Creature Walks Among Us. 1954, we have Seven Samurai and Creature from the Black Lagoon. 1953, we have War of the Worlds, and it was getting tougher to find Laserdiscs that I had, but this Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters does have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is from 1953. 1952, we have Singin' in the Rain and The Crimson Pirate. 1951, we have The Thing from Another World, and this has all the versions of Showboat, but it also contains the 1951 version. The 1929 version has only ever been released on this set and nothing else as far as I'm aware. 1950, we have Sunset Boulevard and Cinderella. 1949, we have Take Me Out to the Ball Game with Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra, and The Third Man, another early Criterion release in the silver cover. 1948, we have The Red Shoes and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which is in that other set, but I also had a separate one here. 1947, we have Crossfire, and I did not have a Laserdisc, and I wasn't sure if I had a VHS tape from this era, so I just went with Charlie Chaplin's Monsieur Verdoux. Great sound film by Charlie Chaplin. 1946, we have It's a Wonderful Life and Notorious. 1945, we have Karloff in Isle of the Dead, and then House of Dracula, and then I used it also for 1944 for House of Frankenstein. And for 1944 over here, we have Gaslight, one of my favorite movies of all time. Ingrid Bergman is insanely good in this film. It's 1943, we have The Ghost Ship, another Val Lewton, and Phantom of the Opera with Claude Rains. Then 1942, we have To Be or Not to Be, and My Favorite Spy starring Kay Kaiser. This movie, as far as I can tell, has only ever been released on Laserdisc, and it's very, very hard to track down online. There's no streaming, there's no YouTube video of it. You can probably find it somewhere, but I haven't been able to. So this is the only place you can watch My Favorite Spy, the 1942, not the 1950s version with Bob Hope. In 1941, we have Citizen Kane, and then The Wolfman. 1940, we have His Girl Friday and Night Train to Munich. Here is 1939, I got a little ahead of myself, for Wizard of Oz, and then That's Right, You're Wrong is another Kay Kaiser film that has, I believe, an Australian VHS release and nothing else other than this Laserdisc here. 1938, we have Bringing Up Baby and The Lady Vanishes. 1937, we have Grand Illusion and Young and Innocent. This is the first ever DVD release in the Criterion Collection. Moving on to 1936, we have Modern Times and Sabotage. 1935, we have Becky Sharp and The Raven with Karloff and Lugosi. This is the first film ever shot in 3-strip Technicolor, the color process that was used for Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind, and people usually attribute to those films being the first, but this was the first in 1935, 4 years earlier. This I also used for 1934 for The Black Cat, and It Happened One Night. 1933, my favorite film of all time is The Invisible Man. I think it is the most charming, creepy, amazing thing I've ever seen. And then I also have the King Kong Criterion release. The second Criterion release ever also contains the very first audio commentary of any physical media release ever. So it's pretty cool. 1932, we have The Old Dark House and The Mummy. 1931, we have Dracula and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Frederick March version. 1930, we have Hitchcock's Murder, and this is a Buster Keaton box set of 7 talkies he made with MGM. Free and Easy is from 1930. You can tell it was getting harder with my Laserdiscs. 1929, I have Blackmail, and that set I showed you with Showboat. I used that for the 1929 Laserdisc. 1928, we have The Circus, and this Buster Keaton box set of Silence has Steamboat Bill Jr., which was 1928. 1927, we have Napoleon and The King of Kings, Criterion release. 1926, we have F.W. Murnau's Faust, and, I used the Buster Keaton set again for 1926 with The General is also on here. 1925, we have The Gold Rush and Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney this time. 1924, we have F.W. Murnau's The Last Laugh and Greed. 1923, we have Hunchback of Notre Dame. And this Buster Keaton box set has 3 Ages in it, which is from 1923. 1922, we have Nosferatu, and these Buster Keaton box sets have plenty of shorts from 1922. I do not have a feature film on Laserdisc from 1922, but we're going with that. 1921, we have The Phantom Carriage, and then I was really out of options, so I went with The Kid as well. 1920, we have Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and The Golem. 1919, we have Wagon Tracks and The Doll. And then the 1918 is on here as well, the I Don't Want to Be a Man. And then we have Hellbent. 1917, this is the Stagecoach Criterion, but it also contains Bucking Broadway, which is a 1917 feature that John Ford directed. And here is 7 Keys to Baldpate. There's a lot of adaptations of this, most notably being House of the Long Shadows with Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, John Carradine, Vincent Price. It's an amazing film. Check it out. 1916, we have Intolerance. And then we can go back to Laserdisc because I have this First American Features box set that contains feature films from 1912 through 1916. So Intolerance, and then this box set. This specifically being Civilization was 1916. 1915 we have, oh what a surprise, Birth of a Nation. And then both The Cheat and Regeneration are on here. I have not seen Regeneration yet, but The Cheat is a great film that Cecil B. DeMille directed early in his career. And then 1914, this is the 27 version of Uncle Tom's Cabin, but the 1914 version is included in full on this Blu-ray. And then for Laserdiscs, we have Judith of Bethulia, which was D.W. Griffith's first feature film. And then for 1913, we have Antony and Cleopatra here. And then Traffic in Souls is a 1913 DVD, Laserdisc, sorry. And then we have From the Manger to the Cross, which is a 1912 feature film. And on my other side, I was getting really strapped, so I was done with feature films after 1913. So I have this George Méliès box set, which goes back every single year from 1913 to 1896. So I'm just going to keep holding this here because that's getting us through for there. On the other side, we have Dante's Inferno. This is from 1911. This is, as far as I'm aware, the oldest feature film that survives in its entirety that was meant to be viewed in one sitting. There were other longer projects prior to this, but I believe they were meant to be viewed split up. But this is, as far as I know, the earliest feature film that exists. There was the story of the Kelly Gang, but that is only incomplete. And then this is still carrying us through for 1910. We're done with feature films. We have the 1910 version of Frankenstein, which is on this double pack with Nosferatu. This is still getting us through. And then to end this side, from 1893 to 1910, this Edison Kino release has a film of some sort from every single year back, 1909, 8, 7, 6, 5, all the way back to 1893. There are some prior to 1893 on here, but there's nothing from 1892, although I believe some stuff exists. So 1893 is as far as I can go back. I don't believe that there are any films from 1892 on physical media, so 1893 might be the furthest you can go back in general. We're still at 1896 on the other side. And here I have the Lumiere Brothers Laserdisc, which does include like Leaving the Factory and Train Arriving at a Station, which is 1895. And then to finish it off, I have this Landmarks of Early Film, which does contain a few shorts from 1894. So these were my two endpoints. So two different stacks using only different sets. For one, I can get back to 1893, and the other I can get back to 1894. Now, there are multiple films from 1893 on here, so if I'm allowing myself to use other films in the same set, then we can get back to 1893 with different films for both. Okay, that was a lot. This is very long. I'm very sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed it. I do want to say one thing, actually. Fun fact about this Blu-ray, A Trip to the Moon from 1902. It contains a special feature of a short by Méliès, The Astronomer's Dream from 1898, which, as far to my knowledge, is the oldest piece of film that has been restored and released in HD on physical media, 1898. If someone knows of something before that that has been released on Blu-ray, please let me know. I'd love to get it. All right. Thanks again to PlatX2 and Ken for from MidLevelMedia, showing me that this thing existed. And I hope you guys enjoyed a bunch of my random movies.